Hi everyone and welcome to my card art. I will be making a kitty cat card with a yarn button. So actually it will be a button that looks like a yarn. I'm showing you the different color papers that I will be using. And of course this video is dedicated to John and his beautiful wife. And they were the recipients of this card that I made specifically for them. I am using Nuvo glue and I am putting a lighter colored cardstock behind some of the words on the thank you portion that I had already cut out. This way, when you're color coordinating your cardstock, if you use a lighter color, your words in the background will come out a little bit better. So if you have a darker color on top, you don't want to use a dark background because obviously it's going to blend in. But here, I just wanted to emphasize partial words and emphasize the rest of the words below with another cardstock. By the way, if you like this video, please, give me a thumbs up and subscribe for me. And I sure would appreciate if you would hit that bell button. The notification one, it kind of goes like this. Somewhat like that. You guys, thank you for subscribing. Everybody has been absolutely wonderful with your encouragements. And, I really appreciate everything that you guys are leaving for me for comments. And of course, you can hear the bell sound that I just had. That's the only one I have. So if you guys have another bell sound, put a link in your descriptions over here so I can use, a different bell if you don't like this one. Anyways, I am showing you some of the embellishments that I will be putting on here. And a little note earlier was describing the yarn button I will be actually using shortly. And I'm not gluing the entire card down. The reason I'm not doing that because I will be sticking things in between some of those words. See how the lighter cardstock just brings out the word thank you, and then on top it kind of cuts it in half. It creates a very nice illusion and a nice effect that I personally really like. And this way, it color coordinates and it just makes it look a little different. That's an easy tip from me to you. Here is a cute little kitty cat that I had cut out and already colored in and layered. And this is, of course, from Stampin' Up. And if you make more than one decorations at a time, it saves you a lot of time. And here, I just cut this out already. And I didn't want to take the time to show it to you because I figured you already know how to do that. And of course, as you know, I'm not selling anything. I never do. I just give you guys tips, give you my ideas. And hopefully what you see, you can create and do as you like. Here, I'm using the 3D tape bumpers to lift the kitty cat off the card a little bit. And this will be very important because the yarn, yeah, you'll see my yarn. It'll be going behind the kitty cat to make him look like he's getting all entangled in as he's playing with it. I lined up the 3D bumper in the middle of the cat because it makes it a lot easier to stick him down. You can pretty much pick any spot you like. Just make sure that it has enough room for the button if you're going to be recreating this card. And by the way, I love to have you recreate my cards, but I hope one day you make my card art your card art and use your buttons for decorations on your cards and do something as you like. The button that I had here, to me, because of all the little ripples on top, it really looked like a yarn to me. So on the back, I'm just adding this so-called ribbon, and it's a silver one. It has a very nice, strong consistency. So what I'm going to be doing here is intertwining the portions of the letter of the thank you in between, which you could see, it's not sometimes as easy as it looks, but in between the words. This is why I did not glue the card all the way down. And you can use any little sharp object or tweezers if you wish to lift up, your paper and then stick that ribbon underneath it. And this way you could pull it through and make it look kind of tangly. So here, messy is your friend. The messier you make it, the more it appears that the kitty cat is actually playing with that yarn and getting things all over the place. So again, don't make it organized. Don't try to weave through every letter and every word in there because that's not the whole idea. Now watch this. I'm going behind the head of the kitty and I'm tucking and turning that ribbon underneath the 3D bumper. So again, just make it, when you make this at home or something simple, it doesn't matter what you do it with or what your cat looks like or what shape it is. Whether it's this kind of a stamp or a different kind, or a different, company who makes a kitty cat, you can do this with any of the kitties. Just take that ribbon and you know, put around its little body or the tail. And this is why the 3D bumpers are your friends here. You can actually push the yarn through. My tip is don't use a flat, thicker ribbon, because it'll be a lot harder to kind of incorporate into the card, because you have to go underneath the button, the cat, you know, under the words. So the straighter that ribbon is, the thinner this ribbon is. It's actually better. And that's your friend. So what I'm doing here is I'm tying it again on the button, on the back of the button, so it has a nice hold to it. I will be taking that button shortly, and I will be putting a 3D bumper on the back of the button as well, and situating it just the right spot that I felt that it was good at. As you can see, I'm doing some more tucking, and as you can tell, sometimes, like right there, it didn't want to work, so I wanted to put it further up. And if it doesn't work, it's okay. It wasn't working for me. My fingers were just not cooperating. So I just, you know, didn't go to the next row up. I kept it there. And what I did here is I'm securing it so it has a little bit of a better hold. And this way, when the button is glued down, the yarn, I'm going to call it yarn, is going to look a little bit more tighter than super loose, so it will not fall apart. And although it looks messy, and although it kind of looks like it's going to come apart and fall apart because the kitty is playing with this yarn all over the place, that's okay. But in reality, the card is made very sturdy. And that's your key. So even when you make cards look delicate, that's beautiful, but you don't want it to fall apart on the person who's going to be receiving it, because obviously they're going to be opening it up, maybe writing a message, you know, or maybe you're writing a message for them. You know, it's a card that you make to gift to them, or you're giving it as a gift for someone, and then they're going to pass it on to someone else. So you always want to have your cards as sturdy as possible, but you can always detail things and just make it look really, really nice. So here I am taking a little bit of that glue, as you saw earlier, and added it onto the paper, and finished off some of that lettering. And now I'm gluing the tail. And I'm gluing it closer to the little bum of the kitty. It'll hold it better. And, you know, if your fingers don't work too well, yeah, don't worry. Mine doesn't always work very well either, but I make it work. So sometimes, you know, our hands don't quite do what our brains tell us that they should be doing, but that's okay. So here I actually took part of that 3D bumper and used it halfway to glue that so-called yarn to the behind of the cat's tail. And here, watch, I'm going to be putting some 3D bumper right on that button, but I will be raising it actually a little more up, because see here, the button portion, see that loop on the button? It's actually larger. So I'm adding double 3D tapes, so it's flush with the card. That's the trick here. So you want to add double 3D bumpers to raise up that button, so the back part where you're threading the yarn through, in this case the ribbon, it stays on the card and it's basically the same level. So I decided I wanted to go ahead and add some flowers, which I will be adding soon. And the best way to add flowers is I'm just putting some of my Nuvo glue onto the back of the scrap paper from the, what do you call it? From the double-sided tape. There we go. From the double-sided tape. And this way the glue will not get absorbed into the paper. It will actually be easier to use, and then you can dip the flower stem here that I did and put that flower stem behind some of the words. I like to use the backing of the 3D tape or the backing of the double-sided tape, depending on the size, and just use that as my base for my glue. The paper is slick, the glue stays on top, doesn't get absorbed, and it stays wet longer. I'm able to control it a little bit more. And since this flower is so tiny on the stem, you really can't put the glue on it too well if you're going to try to go ahead and glue the stem itself, because it's going to be a hot mess. So it's easier to dip. The dip effect in this case is much better. See that? I'm just dipping that stem part right there. and then I'm tucking. So I'm lifting the paper and I'm tucking. Oh, this is so much fun. I enjoy making these things so much. You know, I laugh when I make these things, and I love making cards. And so many times I'm sitting there and giggling, and my friend is looking at me, or my family is looking at me, going, "What are you doing? Why are you laughing as you're making the card?" It's like, because I'm enjoying it. I'm just having so much fun creating my own stuff. Isn't that silly? But anyways, oh well, little silliness won't hurt, I guess. I'm adding some more glue because I ran out. It's not that it dried out; it just ran out, and I'm going to be using some butterflies that I had cut out earlier. When I have different butterflies, punches, or patterns, a lot of times I just spend time in cutting out my embellishments to save time. So this way I use different paper, different textures. Some are embossed. I will take my embossing folders, use those, or use a certain pattern. I mean, you name it. I do so many different things. It's just overwhelming if I start going over it for you, probably, but I don't want to bore you with it. But what I'm doing here is I'm dabbing off the extra glue that is on the butterfly. And this way, this glue dries clear, so you will not see the extra glue. And see, on this butterfly, I have more of a texture. And again, I'm just putting random places the butterfly where I feel would look the best. And I try to keep the colors comparable to each other and a little bit of complementary, and yet, like with the flowers, add a little color that pops. You don't want to have your card flush with all the same colors. You want to have a little bit of an effect that pops. Anything. It's kind of like a focal point. They call it an art. And here I'm going to show you the sticky specs. This is from Tesla Craft sticky paper. Well, Tesla Craft sells this sticky paper, and I really like this. It has all these tiny little dots, and there are a lot of sheets that come in this packet. So what I do is, see, that says 36 times. I guess that's how many little, square circles this product has. But what I really like about it is I can cut it up. So I cut it up to smaller pieces, and I lift the backing. I put my embellishment on it, and then I rub it, and all those sticky dots stick to the back of my project. And whether it's words, something tiny, anything, and depends how well you stick it down. So the key here is you want to go ahead, and when you put your project in between that cover see-through paper and the sticky sheet, you want to really rub, rub it in really well. Your butterfly wings in this case, rub it in really well, because if you don't, it's user error. You want to have those tiny little circles stick to the back of your project. If you don't rub it in very well, they're not going to stick because you're defeating the purpose. You'll see it a little bit later. User error. I didn't rub very well. You'll see I'm putting my butterfly, the side that I want, onto my sticky paper, and I just, I don't really rub. I just kind of go through it just a little bit. And I'm supposed to do it a little better. You really want to kind of press, kind of burnish it a little bit to make sure it sticks properly. If you don't, it's going to fall off. And it's not the fault of the glue. See that? See how it moved? You saw how my hand moved? You might want to roll the tape back. I don't know how to do that yet with editing. I'm not that savvy yet. But you'll see that butterfly will fall off, and it will not be in the next few frames. But this one, see this one? I'm rubbing it really, really well. That's your tip. Rub, rub, rub. And then those sticky dots will stick to the back, and guess what? They won't fall off. So this is an excellent piece of paper for small projects where, it's kind of harder to use a glue stick or a glue tip, especially if you use words, where some of them are so intricate and so detailed. This paper is absolutely wonderful for that. And Christina, my friend, she has her craft store online, and I showed you that link. And if you have any questions for her, just send her an email. I don't sell anything, so I just use the stuff. And I like it, and I want to give you tips. That's all it is. But I use it a lot. And again, you can cut up those sheets into smaller pieces, and boy, they really go a long way. So here I'm gluing the back of the card with a double-sided tape, and I'm going to be situating it to another base card. And I'm peeling the back of the tape. And as you know, sometimes they don't want to come up, And it's not the tape's fault. It's just, you know, my hands, my fingers, my nails. I don't know, the way I scratch it or whatever I do. So here's the trick. Take something that's pointy and press underneath that backing, you know, anywhere, and the tape will come up a lot easier. Here I'm using scissors. You can use any pointy object that'll work for you. See that? There's that butterfly. That's the one that fell off. You'll see it on the next frame. Yeah, I goof too, you know? I mean, I hand make these things, you know? I'm not a machine. I don't do the same thing over and over. So I make goofy errors, and that's okay because you get to see it. And if you do it, don't be mad at yourself. It's okay. We all do it. I'm just showing you my goof. Some crafters out there craft so beautifully, and their videos are impeccable and 100%, and they never make any mistakes on them. And you guys are fabulous out there, and I love to learn from you, and I watch your videos out there too. So I encourage you guys to check in other videos from other crafters. You know, people have some beautiful channels out there, and if you guys have some channels and you want to show me something, please leave your comments below, and I will be happy to learn from you as well and support you and subscribe to you and grow all together. You know, us fellow artists, we want to stick together, and I sure enjoy watching other people's videos, especially cooking. You know that, because I watch a lot of cooking. Anyhow, so here I am trimming the edges, and see right there, I have a little nick on that side, and I had that nick when I initially cut that thank you letter sequence out. And that's okay, it'll be fixed. I wanted to show you that I really couldn't cut it because I had the little flowers in the way, but that's okay. I'll fix it. Watch. Okay, see, I'm putting that little butterfly again. See, I need to rub and press so all that glue can stick onto the back of the butterfly. And that's exactly what I was doing here. And here is the back of the card, and I will show you why I put that butterfly on the side. And what I'm doing here is I'm kind of not even measuring, you know me. I'm going to fold the card so it can still fit into the envelope, but I am kind of cheating because I'm not exactly folding it in half, but I'm folding it partially, almost like a third of the way. That one part right there. And I kind of pinch it so I know where I need to score it so my line is nice and straight. Sometimes you can get away without scoring. It all depends on your cardstock. Some cardstocks you can actually bend really nicely. And some cardstocks, if you try to bend them without scoring, it comes out kind of messy. Now watch this. See how the paper right there was longer? I just turned around. Turn your paper around to score it. If your scoreboard is smaller, you know, that's what I did here. And then I scored it. See how nice it is? Just a nice, crisp fold. Look at that. Scoring really makes a big difference when you make your cards. In the very beginning, I didn't score. And then I saw the difference. I'm like, maybe I should be scoring that paper. So I did. Now here I am showing you the kitty cat punch, and you're probably wondering about that butterfly. It'll be coming up. But the punches are very good to create stencils with. So I'm trying to show you that because I have to stencil the inside of the card before I decorate the outside, because once the outside is decorated, it's going to be lumpy. I can't stencil over that. So here I'm showing you my tip, which is to choose your color for the inside that kind of matches part of your card somewhere. And you don't want to have the inside too crazy looking. You don't want to have your stenciling on the inside too bright, because if someone's going to write a message inside the card, you don't want your stenciling shapes to get in the way and all of a sudden you can't read what the person has written in the card. So I'm comparing colors over here, and I know sometimes, you know, you guys might have different colors on your videos and you might see the color differences, but I assure you in real life it mattered. So here you see all those little white circles. I'm not using those. I punched that off for another project, but I'm using the kitty cat here. Watch, you see how part of the middle I didn't color in? I left it a little light. See that? It creates that lighter effect. And of course I have to move everything over. And I'm stenciling at the fold of the card. This kind of creates an illusion that the card is a little bit bigger, especially when you have it open. And again, I'm not coloring in the whole kitty cat. See how my cat is? So far, the kitty's tail is on the left. Watch. You will be seeing me turn around the stencil, which is fantastic. That's another tip that I have for you. So again, let's go back to this. I'm only doing a little bit of the cat. This way it also creates kind of the effect of a partial shadow. And on the inside of the card, that really does make a difference, especially in real life. Here I'm only taking part of the kitty. So a tip from me to you is use your stencil partially in certain parts. Now watch. See this? Again, part of the kitty is left lighter. And I'm using the Lawn Fawn little cubes here for my stenciling colors. I really like Lawn Fawn, and Kelly's creations are absolutely amazing from Lawn Fawn. I encourage you guys to go on her site and check out what she has. I'm sure many of you already know her, but she's fantastic with her projects. Okay, see my kitty cat? Look, the tail is on the right side. I turn over my stenciling. And I did that because all of a sudden, when you have an image that permits you to turn it over, it's almost like you're having a double project. And this way you can also create a mirror image. So if you want to, you can actually create a mirrored card by turning over your stencil. And I'm sure a lot of you know this, but I don't know about you, but sometimes I forget certain things. I'm like, it's kind of nice to remember. Okay, let me try this, let me try that. And I go, oh, that's right, that's how it went. And when you turn your stencil around, it's almost like having an extra thing that you can add to your card. And again, I'm leaving some white. The effect of blank spots on cards and art actually has a very nice illusion. A lot of times people say you got to color every part in, every little shadow and nook and cranny, but I like to leave a little bit of a blank space. It creates very nice effects. And again, it's just a judgment call where you're going to be putting your images on the inside. I didn't fast forward the video because I wanted you to see the pastel colors for the stenciling on the inside and kind of how I decided where I'm putting things. It didn't take a whole lot of time up. You can always fast forward the video if you want to, but I really wanted you to kind of see how I did it to help you out when you make your card. You might have a dog, you might have a bird, whatever you will have. Here I'm taking the back of the card and I'm only using the double-sided tape on the side that will be glued down on partial back of this card. Remember, because not the entire card backing is going to go onto that card base. So you do not want to glue your entire card down. Trust me, you're going to make your card stick together and you have to unstick it and it's a hot mess. So I'm just using my double-sided tape and voila, here my fingers took it all off. You know, the backing, everything came off, no worries. Right? That's why I say sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't for me. And it's me, user error. Okay, watch. See how I am laying down the card, but only once it's open, only partial part of the thank you area is going to be glued down to my card base. Now, there goes that butterfly we've been waiting for, right? This is real-time crafting. I really don't cheat. I don't show you another card that I finished, 3 weeks ago. This is it. Remember that nick that I had on the left? Well, I just covered up with my butterfly. So if you make mistakes on your card, that's okay. You can always color them in or cover them up or put something pretty on it. Use an embellishment. And here again, I'm using that wonderful sticky paper, rub, 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 and you can use it over and over and over, pretty much until all that glue is used up, and then just cut another piece off. That package goes a long way. I really like it. Look how sticky it is. Look how awesome. And it only goes where you want it. So now, since I did it right, my butterfly can go back to where it was intended to go. And again, I'm emphasizing press your image onto that glue sheet so these little glue dots can transfer to your project. And if they don't, it's user error. So, because that sticky sheet works fantastic. I like to use them for words like blessings and Merry Christmas, especially when they're super intricate and super thin, because those are pretty hard to try to glue down on a paper with just a glue tip. And see, if any of the little glue particles get on your cardstock, you can always just rub it off, or you can use an eraser. See, I only had partial um, paper glued down on the thank you card. It wasn't all the way through, so, you know, when you open it, you could see that backing. All right, so we're not done. Here is something. This is a corner punch. This is from Stampin' Up also. But look, those look like leaves to me. So when you punch out something, a lot of times you can use the negatives. And later on, I will be reusing these little corner punch remnants because I totally see leaves in it, and I will be reusing them. They're kind of tiny, but that's okay. I don't mind the detail. See, look, right there. See that? To me, they look like little leaves. I could totally use them for flowers. So some punches that you do punch out, they're perfect for other projects. So don't be shy. You know, just because you punched out something, look at it. You might get an idea and you might go, oh, I can use it for this, or I can use it for that. You know, don't give up. Many things are designed, and sometimes by accident, that are usable for more than one way. Turn it around, you know, rotate it, look at it upside down. You might see something that you can create something brand new with that maybe that project or that object wasn't even intended for. Here is my crocodile, and I'm punching a hole, and I'm just lining up another hole towards close to the, you know, edge of the card, and I will be threading a ribbon through it. Okay, here's my tip. When you thread ribbon, don't be cheap. Use a nice long piece, because there's nothing worse, I think, in my opinion, than trying to make a short ribbon work by tying a knot or a bow. And yes, I've done that too. So I'm speaking from experience. Well, I was cutting it too short, and you know, you're trying to tie a knot or a bow, and it's just so difficult. Oh, and I so could have made it easier. So my tip, when you do something like this, use a longer ribbon. You know, don't be shy. Just make it long. You can always cut it and trim it later. I am using this sheer ribbon that I really liked, and I think I got it from Michael's, I want to say, or Joann's, I don't remember. And it's just, you know, a nice silver white color, and I'm tying a double knot. So I'm going to be using this to tie the cards together. You know, the card flat on both sides. See, I cut it now. So this way, see how much easier? Could you imagine me trying to make a knot with a tiny little piece on the back side? No way. So I'm using it on this side too, and I will be tying a knot on the ends here, because I will be tying those two parts together to tie the card together, if that makes sense. It will make sense, so just hang in there. It's kind of hard to explain it. I don't seem to have the words today. Sorry, guys. It's been a long day. I've been working. I have a full-time job. No excuse on my end, but I really wanted to get this video out for you guys to see. So let me try this again. I am tying the knot right there on the other side too, so the ribbon doesn't come through. Because if you only tie it on one end, then the ribbon, you know, will come loose, and you're not going to be happy. So I'm tying basically both ends on that cardstock. See that right there? And I'm doing the same thing on the front. I think you get the idea now. You see how those two are going to be tied together? And I'm using this sheer ribbon. Here's another tip. On sheer ribbons, when you tie them, you know how a lot of times they don't stay tied together? Well, they're perfect for tying cards like this together, because they will not stay together. And you'll see what I mean. You want to double knot what you want to have stick together, and you want to single knot what you don't want to stick together. Did I just confuse you? So I'm making two knots right there. This will hold the ribbon. See that? And now when I do one knot, see this right there? I'm going to cut off the excess on the back, because the two knots are going to hold my ribbon. I'm comparing lengths. I'm making it tight. The two knots are going to stay. Stay with me. Stay with me. The thought is still there. Okay, watch. Check this out. All right, cutting it again just a little bit so they kind of match. Now watch. One knot. The card will not stay together. One knot, right? Watch when you open it. Look, here it comes. The recipient gets the card. And of course, I had to do this one more time to show the one knot, you know, Actually, 2 knots, but you know what I mean. It has knots on the ends to hold together the inside of the card with the colors. Okay. And then here, I'm tying back the ribbon. Any minute now. I'm still trying to show you what I'm doing here. This is what voiceovers do, right? You're like, I know it's coming because I did it. Hang tight. Sorry, I'm showing my project. I want you to see it. Okay, there it is. All right, so I'm tying the knot. Sorry, guys. 1 knot. Okay, now watch. Open it up. You see how it didn't stay together? There it is. Yes. Okay, 1 knot. There it is. And I'm showing you. Recipient receives it, opens it up. See how the 1 knot did not stay? That's why I did 2 knots, double tied, to make the card hold the ribbon. But if it's only 1, it's super easy to open. And the sheer ribbon does this almost all of the time. You don't have to pull it tight. Just hang in there and do that. You guys, thank you for all your amazing support, your kind words. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for watching. Please leave me your comments. I will respond back to you, and please subscribe to me. And God bless you all. And again, thank you for all the amazing words. And John, hope you and your missus had a wonderful day. A big thanks. Take care.